Alright, so it is Monday. It's about 12:30 and we're at 80 degrees ish, warm but windy, and I am out here. We are expecting high winds today and hail tonight, so I figured I'd come out here and get a few things sowed. Now, I know I got some stuff sowed in the greenhouse, but just in case that don't survive, I'm going to do either, we're going to call it succession planting / direct sowing, just so we get something in the garden this season in case the greenhouse don't work out. I just sowed some cowpeas and I brought out my sorrel and my peas that had already sprouted and had their true leaves. I brought them out and I put them in the bed here. I have several different types of peas in this bed, to include iron and clay and some other stuff I got from Miss Diva Jones. And here I did a row of cowpeas and I did my sorrel. I'm thinking I'm gonna do my callaloo in the middle, but I haven't yet decided. So purpose this soil from the planters and mix it with some cocoa, and the focus is going to be to fill these seed blocks over there and here. And my thinking is I'm going to attempt to do my brassicas here, since I'm not sure I'll get that bed up and running. I got everything. It is Tuesday. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon and I'm back out here. So yesterday I managed to get some carrots in these cinder block openings, and I planted my ahi pepper, Pippin Golden Honey, fish pepper. This one was my arroz con pollo. This is the Criolla Cella. This is going to be jalapeno, and this is Scotch bonnets. So I'm getting ready to do my second block of cocoa coir. I got soil for each of these beds purchased, potting soil and compost mix, and I probably throw some cocoa coir in there as well, and we'll go from there. Now the openings around the sweet potato bed, those cinder blocks over there, that's going to be for my herbs. Alright, so yesterday I also managed to sow some English lavender in this planter, and I added some aster and also, alright, so I lost my footage, I had to come back out here. So I will put a picture of what those three flowers look like on the screen, and I wanted to show you my alliums. I'm in love with alliums. Raise their heads up finally, and they're just stunning. So the reason I opted to direct sow, red ground cover is coming up, is that I'm not sure how the greenhouse situation is going to work out, and I was watching Go Grow's channel and she was talking about she thinks she might have dampening of disease, so she had to restart her sowing as well. Now I don't know if I have dampening of disease, but what I do know is there's 5 main reasons why I'm having so much issues with my seedlings. Anyway, so reason 1 could be that the soil, being reclaimed soil, just isn't good enough for what I wanted it to do. And 2, that maybe the greenhouse is just giving too much light and it's not filtered. I don't have a top or anything on top of it, so that could be the reason. Also possibly could be that the plants just are not ready to poke their heads out, and I'm not being very patient. So either way, there's several reasons why I'm going to do a bit of direct sowing. Could possibly be that the seeds are old. However, not all those seeds were old seeds. Fourth would be that gardener error. So it's all my fault. And 5. Alright, and 5 could be inconsistencies, i.e. in the weather, and perhaps me coming out here and taking care of them. I have some stuff that has germinated, however, they're just not to what I would think height they should be at this stage in the game. And even when the beets come up, they're like stagnant. And I shouldn't say just the beets, many other things, they're just stagnant. So that's the reason I decided to do a bit of direct sowing. I'm in my window to sow everything major right about now. The only 2 things that I'm out of window to sow is radishes and beets. And I've sown the rat-tailed radishes because I definitely want to try those. And I've dropped a few seeds for the beets also. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update on the cassava. As you can see, I have germination. See some green stuff here, but and I don't see much here. That's a root. Let's cover that up. So cassava seem to be doing well. Partly they like the temperature. Now in this tray I did put some peas and rat-tailed radishes, and it has a majority of peppers. The only thing that's sprouted so far is the peas. So I think it needs some water. So I'm gonna get that watered in and start on my herb beds. So I need to get some water in this because I still have a big chunk here that needs to be rehydrated. So I opted to bring the herbs out and basically put them where I intend to plant them. Got some soil in these holes, and that's where they're gonna go. We're gonna see what they'll do in the next week or so. See if anybody sprouts. If anybody don't sprout, then we will reseed in these holes, but basically this is where they will be. At this stage in the game, we are going to go with only the strong will survive. So the peas that I brought out yesterday, see, we have one victim here. I think maybe the wind got him because it's broken right there, but everybody else seemed to be surviving. So that's the game we're playing. Only the strong will survive. The 4 roselles are doing well, and I did manage to plant some more roselles in front of these, so I don't know what that is, but we'll give it a chance. Alright, so radishes ended up going in this bed. I'm hoping that bell pepper sprout, and the bell pepper is going to go in this bed as well. Now I planted some beets in here. It's supposed to have garlic. I'm not seeing too many sprouts of garlic pop up. Now I did learn that you could tell the difference between garlic and onions, because onions is more round leaf wise, while garlic is more of a straight leaf. So I'm keeping an eye out to see what this does, if any garlic rears its head. However, The onions and the garlic that I planted in these bags are doing okay. Potatoes are coming up, and this is what we're looking like. Waiting on some yams for that bed right there, and I'm going to get another bamboo situation here. I'm gonna use it for my cucumbers. There we have the cabbage, and I did drop some callaloo seeds in that bed. This is nothing about peas. Nothing yet planted in this bed, nothing planted in that bed. And I did my mini Zapotec seeds in here. And you know what, I need to water this because the rain and the hail we were expecting yesterday never showed up. And an update on the asparagus. So what you see now is they're going into their second season, and I wonder if that's going to seed, with the exception of these 3 pots. 1, 2, 3. These are all new this season, and they're already starting to do their thing. So this is my asparagus station. Horseradish coming along. I haven't yet seen anything with the lemongrass. I saw some green stuff there, but that might be a weed, so we're going to keep an eye on it. So let me get that water in, and I will catch you on the next one. It is Wednesday, April the 30th, 2025. It's about 11 a.m., 60 degrees. We're expecting rain today, so I figured I'd get my bare roots planted up. Now, last video I mentioned one of these being apricot, which is actually a nectarine. The apricot is on its way and should be here next week. That being said, I am going to take this and soak them for about an hour, then hopefully get them in the ground. So let's see what we got. We have a contender peach, the ebony pearl sweet cherry, we have the Metley plum, the flavored top nectarine, and top heavy, and the Asian pear. Now, as you can see, these are all budding out, so hopefully there's success. Last go around we tried Arbor Day, and as you can tell, I was not successful with those. Now, there were 2 cuttings in the box, and they look like they're viable, so I'm gonna stick them in that tire bed with the figs and see what they do. All right, so I got my concoction mixed up. I have plantain, bone meal, and blood meal, and that's what we're gonna use for this. And let's go outside. All right, since I don't have a pre-dug hole for the apricot, I'm gonna have to dig a hole for that. But basically, I'm gonna pull out the stuff that's not viable and replant them in this area. Come back and tackle this project. Well, I got the wrong bucket, so this might not be soaking in there for quite as long. But yeah. All right, it's about 12:30, and I managed to get everything planted in. It's starting to sprinkle, so I wanted to do what we can. So this is the Metley plum. I took out the Metley that was here. Come to find out that the Stella, when I looked at the roots, I saw that some white roots were still on the bottom, so I replanted the Stella cherry there. I planted this nectarine in this area, as you can see. There's some bud in there. Here I have the Asian pear. Now I was going to pull this Kefir pear. However, I saw some sprouting. Now I know it's below the graft line, so I'm on the fence if I should pull that out. And then I would plant the apricot there when it comes. The same thing here with the pear that I had in this area. Same thing. They're all sprouted from below the graft line. Here we have the ebony pear, sweet cherry, and I already got the contender peach planted in, and the Hale Haven seems to be going fine. Good everything. It is Saturday. It is 11:30-ish and it's 55 degrees. We're expecting rain this evening. We've gotten rain for the last 2 days. So I figured since the sun is poking its head out that I would come out here and get some stuff done. I see my mushroom from years past. It's poking its head out. Anyway, I gotta amend the soil. So my plan is to get these 2 beds done. Then I wanna plant some potatoes in that circle yam bed. And I have some ginger here that I've been trying to get sprouted. I need to put in the bags. And I'm thinking that I will direct sow these peppers in the tire beds, and I need to get 5 of my buckets topped off so I could plant. Look like I got a volunteer onion in there. Plant my ashwagandha, borage, and hyssop, and a few other things. So let's get into it. All right, so we're at a stopping point. Managed to get these beds topped off. Got the tomato cages in. I planted some lettuce on both the left and right side of the beds, different varieties, and I planted some mustard, turnip, and collard greens in this bed. This bed is also topped off. Managed to get the grass mowed in this general area. However, I did not finish on my bucket planters, so that's a project I'm gonna pick back up next week along with this big bed. We'll tackle that next week. Managed to get some spinach planted in that blue pot. That's where the okra is gonna go. I double up on these peppers. So for instance, this bed right here have Pippin's Golden Honey along with the Hungarian Yellow Wax. That one have the ahi dose along with some sweet peppers. So we got the pepper pots tackled. I'm working on, I'm starting a new planting location. This location gets sun basically all day. So next week I think we're gonna fill up these, I want to say they're 30-gallon grow bags. So that being said, thanks for stopping by. Trust everyone had a blessed day, awesome weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.